Hey guys, I'm back on my brother's channel, and today he's going to be ranking his favorite Freddy movies. And today in this video, it's going to be all about Freddy. So grab your covers, grab your blankets, and let's get in the spooky mood. Okay, now let's get in the video.
Thank you, Jalea. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you're back. So now we're finna get into the video. Alright, I'm gonna be talking about the best to worst of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies. The ones that I think are the worst and the ones I'm gonna think of that are the best. Hope you enjoy my ranking.
Be quiet.
At number 9, as the worst of the Nightmare franchise, is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Man, this movie is a piece of dog poop. This movie is garbage. Freddy himself is absolutely horrible. The jokes, the one-liners are absolutely horrendous. Even the characters aren't very good here. I can hardly think of anything positive to say about this movie. The final act was not very good. Um, I'm not a fan of the Looney Tune aspect. They went way too far into the campy humor. They jumped the shark. This movie's just a piece of dog poop. I never want to talk about this movie again. It's horrible, and it comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 as the second worst in the franchise is Nightmare 5: The Dream Child. Now, this movie is nowhere near as bad as Freddy's Dead. It's still a horrible movie. I don't like hardly anything about this movie. The only one thing I like about this movie is the Dan's death. Like, that kill was so awesome. I love that kill. Other than that kill, this movie's horrible. I don't like anything about this movie. Um, Even Alice, Lisa Wilcox's character, she isn't very interesting. She's okay. She's just in a horrible movie. She could have done so much better. I don't like none of the characters here. I don't like the look of Freddy at all. Like Freddy's Dead. I don't like the look. It feels like you have like a bunch of goo on his face and bubble gum, something like that. I just hate the look. And overall, I think the movie's just flat out just unrealistic. You could have done so much more with this movie, but this movie is a giant leap down from Freddy 4, even though that movie isn't the best either, even though it's still kind of good. I'll get to that movie in a second. But overall, this movie's horrible. I don't like it at all, and it comes in at number 8. Alright, coming in at number 7 is going to be the Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake. I'm not a fan of this movie. It's nowhere near as bad as Freddy's Dead or Nightmare 5, but it's still not a very good movie. I think it's better than what people give it credit for, but it's not as bad. I used to have it at the bottom, but on rewatch, I finally realized that this movie is nowhere near as bad as those pile of dog poops. But this movie is a waste of opportunity. They could have done so much more. They basically repeated a lot of what the original movie did so fantastically. I think Rooney Mara as Nancy, she was god awful. She was horrible. Don't like none of the characters here. The actors are actually pretty bad, except for one. Jackie Earle Fraley, Jackie Haley Freddy could have been great, but they gave him a bad script, so that's why he didn't do fantastic. But I feel like he did pretty good. I liked him. He's one of the saving graces. This movie, I thought he did pretty good. I don't like the makeup, but he did pretty good. I like him. He just it was just a horrible script. That's why it wasn't the best. So overall, this movie isn't very good. I mean, there's a little bit of redeeming factors about this movie. Like some of the kills are actually kind of good, but overall, this movie is a missed opportunity. I don't like it at all, and it comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is gonna be Nightmare 2: Freddy's Revenge. Now, this is where the movies I'm starting to get into, like the decent, pretty good, awesome movies. Now, this movie is kind of good. I like some things here. I love the Dark Freddy. I feel like he's at his darkest here. He's at one of his scariest in the franchise. I do like some of the kills in this movie. I like some of the body horror aspect. I thought that was interesting. There's some, as you know, as the movie is infamous for is that the weird subtext of this movie. Yeah, yeah, it's a very strange movie. That's why I can't love it as much as some of the other ones above it. But I still like it. I think Mark Patton as Jesse. I thought he did very good. I like what he did with the character. A little strange, but I like what he did with the character. Lisa, she's a good character as well. I think Grady's pretty fun. Like I said, they have a few entertaining characters, but a lot of the other characters are written kind of strange. You know, the movie's just overall, it's just strange. But overall, I like the movie. What keeps it real down is the weird subtext, but overall, I do like the movie. It comes down number 6. Alright, coming in at number 5 is gonna be Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Now, this was a step down from Dream Warriors, which you'll see much higher. But overall, I think this movie is actually pretty good. I like the kills. Kills are very creative. I like some of the dream sequences. I do like Alice. I think she's a cool final girl, especially in the third act. I thought she turned into this very strong warrior. I like her character in this movie. She's not as good as Nancy or Kristen, but she's actually pretty good. I like her in this movie. Um, I'm not a fan of some of the comedic elements. I feel like it took a nosedive, but what they were trying to do here is much better than the movies that went way too far later on. Friday, he did pretty good. Robert Englund did what he could in this movie. I feel like it's not as over the top as some of the later entries, but like I said, this movie pretty good. I like it enough to say it's a watchable movie. It's pretty watchable, but it's not like the best ever made in the Nightmare franchise. But it comes in at number 5. Number 4 is gonna be Freddy versus Jason. Now we're starting to get into the movies that are great. I think this movie is a very fun movie. It's the same guy, Ronnie Yu. It's the same guy who did Bride of Chucky, which I love that movie even more than this one. But this movie is very fun. I love the action sequences between Freddy and Jason. I feel like what they gave us was great. I think Robert Englund did great. This is like his swan song to the character. I'm glad that he did fantastic in this movie. I thought this was a great mix between dark and funny Freddy. I feel like it was just as good as Dream Warriors, and I think Jason was pretty good here. I mean, he did a good job. The guy who portrayed him. I think this movie is very fun. You got some very fun characters in this movie. I like yeah. Overall, I do like this movie. This movie is very good. I think it's pretty great, and it comes in at number 4. Top 3. Coming in at number 3 is the fantastic Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I feel like this movie was a great return to form after the depths of hell of Freddy's Dead. I think this movie is great. I love Heather Langkamp's performance as Nancy. I feel like this is her best performance yet in the franchise. I love how she gets to play Nancy by the end. I just love her in this movie. I like the young kid Dylan. He's a good kid. Good. Yeah, but he isn't the best child actor, but he did what he could. I think his name is Miko Hughes. I think he did pretty good. I do think Robert Englund did once again. He did fantastic for the little bit he gave. Even as himself, he did very good. I love John Saxon's character. I like how he gets to play the her her father and stuff. I really like that, and also I really enjoy what they were doing with the story. I love the meta aspect. This is like him going to like Scream later on. I feel like this movie was a great start to what he's going to do fantastic with another masterpiece. But overall, this movie is fantastic. I love it, and it comes in at number 3. Alright, coming in at number 2. These top two were very tough. But I'm gonna go with the original Nightmare on Elm Street as my second favorite. What else can you say about Nightmare on Elm Street? It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time, one of the greatest slasher films of all time. I love Nancy. She's a great final girl. I love how she used herself as bait at the final battle. I just think that she is such an awesome final girl. She's like in my top 3. I love Heather Langenkamp's performance. I think she's just a goddess. Robert Englund's performance as Freddy. I feel like that Wes Craven created a monster, a fantastic monster. I feel like this is at his scariest. This movie is scary, very scary. I think this movie is very great. I mean, I just love this movie. I think this movie is phenomenal. Except for the last 5 minutes with the whole blow up doll thing. That was absolutely horrible. But outside those last 5 minutes, everything else is just fantastic. It's glorious, and it comes in at number two. And let's not mention the awesome kills. Coming in number one, the greatest Nightmare on Elm Street movie of all time, and one of the greatest horror sequels of all time is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. This movie is fantastic. This thing is top notch. This one was much better than Nightmare 2. I love the humor. I enjoyed the kids, to Christian, people like Patricia Arquette. I love Kincaid, Joey, Tarrant, everybody. It's great. I love everybody. I love how they get to fight back against Freddy. I just love this movie. The soundtrack is awesome. I love Heather Langenkamp coming back as Nancy. That was cool. We get to see Lawrence Fishburne in the movie. I just love everything about this movie. The kills are great and awesome. They're creative. Their practical effects are just fantastic. One of the best practical effects ever. I also just love the what they do with the Nightmare House. Just everything about this movie is just fantastic. It's fantastic. It's one of the greatest horror sequels of all time, and it comes in at number one. I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. I really hope you enjoyed my ranking of this franchise. This is one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. It's definitely in my top five. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you next time. Peace.